Good morning, you guys. Morning, garden shoes. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I had it rolling last time. Thanks to Garden for letting me know. Okay, let's see. You guys. Hey, you guys. Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary, where we talk about what we want to talk about when we want to talk about it. This live is going to be a little different because I think that some people's eyes may have opened up a little bit this morning because I got tons of messages. I got one text, and when I got that text, I was like, oh, this is something important. And so when I saw that, I looked on my Instagram and looked on my TikTok, and people were messaging me, did you see this? Even one person that like is anti-bird. I want to have this out. Of course, they start cutting grass at soon as I get live. Sorry, I hope it's not distracting. I want to get this out. This channel is not about trying to convince you of anything. It's just about you to look over the history, make decisions for yourself, and what's best for you and your family. I never told you guys who to vote for or which road to go down. That's all up to you because that's the beauty of living in America, right? So this is not going to be a Jason and Tiffany story. We're actually just going to cover what's going on with the Pope's house. And a Channel 7 article that came out last night that you get to hear from Mayor Jason House mouth himself and his lawyer what exactly they plan to do. But first, hit the like button. Please consider subscribing. Also, I want to say our prayers are going out to Shay from the late night crew. We love you, Shay. We hoping everything gets better over there. Hard times do not last for long. We're praying for you, okay? And well wishes to you and your family. Let's go down some history first. And when we start with the history, let's just open our ears. We're not sorry, y'all. They just decided to cut grass. I hope it's not too bad. We're not judging, we're listening, okay? So we're going to hear from Brittany Norwood first. And this was an infamous board meeting. And when you go back and look at these board meetings, listen for yourself. Like when you start to, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. So that's why it's no assumptions here. But remember what they were saying last year and what happens this year. I also want to say the Pope House is a huge deal. But I want you to listen to this, okay? Let's start here. I think this is the one.
Continue to tell the residents the truth. When we talk about our financial state, it's sad. You know, the things that I could tell you would scare you as a resident in regards to the things that the people who are over the day-to-day operation.
Now, I want to talk about this. I want to pause it because again, we're just listening because we're not behind those closed doors and those closed sessions. So we don't know what's going on. But let's keep in mind, this was less than a year ago. Was this like 10 months? Let's see, let's estimate. We're at a year, the May 5th board meeting. So this was exactly 1 year ago. So this was during like the pots and pans. This was during we wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. This was during the Tiffany and Kamal sold that big building over there. What was that called? St. Patrick's. So this was during all of that. Now that was us last year, just listening like, what the heck? I remember listening like when she said, this is 1 year ago. Tiffany has been out of office. Really, we could count that she's been out of office for at least 3 months because she hasn't been back since what was it? November? Because that no, December. That was after they stopped the buses. the toys for kids, the ice cream for seniors, all of that stopped because Tiffany was spending too much money. And let's not forget that image ordinance, okay? That people faces shouldn't be all over everything. Remember that, as we come into this. So this is not a Tiffany versus Jason. Maybe Tiffany was spending too much. Instead of spending getting one ply toilet tissue, she was getting 2-ply. Okay. Now, if you look at the board packet, we can see what's now being approved. They're paying bills from 2022, and it's Aurelio's Pizza, which has already been paid, right? Because they use a credit card. All of these bills are now approved when it was taken off. So this is just about listening. We're not in the boardrooms. We don't know what's happening, but this was exactly 1 year ago. So unless our financial situation changed overnight, this is interesting to hear. Okay. So let's go.
So why would we be paying a bill for $7,482? I do know that as
over the day-to-day operation, the decisions that they make,
about his money, and it's never been.
Well, when we discuss the bill.
And let's not forget, who was the person that was over the day-to-day operations that still stayed, So let's go.
I just heard you mention a few things earlier, and I think that even though we've been saying this for months, since you'll continue to say what you're going to say, I guess I should continue to tell the residents the truth. When we talk about our financial state, it's sad. The things that I could tell you would scare you as a resident in regards to the things that the people who are over the day-to-day operation, the decisions that they make, the fact that they do not prioritize this spending, and then they come up here and say, hey, vote for this, vote for that. I found it quite interesting that we have our mayor that just sat up here and said, do you want receipts for the taxes? I put it on Snapchat. I found that particularly interesting considering that we've been asking for financials for months. Put that on Snapchat for us, please. We have $4 million in checks that the board have approved that have not been dispersed. The checks are on someone's desk. Whose desk? We do not know. So when we continue to ask for financials, when we make decisions, it's just responsible. We were elected to do a job, and that's what we're here to do. We keep saying, hey, this spending is getting out of control. We've been saying that for months. You have Trustee Belcher just set up here and asked, hey, if we're making decisions on voting for the bills, could someone tell us about the $6.8 million grant? We didn't receive an answer. But yet, we're told that the bag is being here, the bag is present, but the bag is empty, guys. It's empty. We have, she stated, the public works. For months, Trustee House has been stating, hey, we have to watch our spending. We have to prioritize the spending because we know that payouts are due for public works and police. It's coming, it's coming. You have an administration that set up here months ago and said, in April, we're going to make sure that you all are reimbursed because you all do such a great job for the village. And we want to make sure that we take great care of you because we love you so much. But yet, I'm receiving calls saying that they've only received 1/3 of their money. So either we have the money or we do not. And it's extremely important that we realize that we do not have the money. If in regards to the financials, if we had the money and if they were providing us, because they just say, we provide you with the financials, or they said we don't, and how do they know that we're in a deficit? Well, if we were provided with the information, there would be no reason for those people to be coming to our door requesting the information that they've already mysteriously provided us with. So I'm going to say, when we make financial decisions, it's not to sit here and argue, it's not to go back and forth, but it is to let the residents know that we don't have it. All of these services that you all need, we have to have some money to be able to provide you with those services. And it would just be totally irresponsible for us to continue to vote for things, negligent things. And yeah, we don't even know the village's financial true state. We just know it's $4 million on someone's desk. So thank you, residents. I hope that you have the information that you have been asking for in regards to where's the information? Where are we going with this? Why are they not approving these items? Thank you.
That's funny that now it's 4 million. Y'all said it was 7 million. I told you your math ain't math.
She said it was $4 million worth of checks.
Let me answer.
She don't understand. She can't read.
Respond if you want to hear my answer. As it relates to the stuff that Trustee Blanchard just stated, you guys have to stop coming here to grandstand. If you feel something's wrong, you guys can reach out and then you can talk to the administration that deals with the day-to-day as it relates to anything you're claiming. It's plenty of times you guys have sat here at a meeting. Please, quiet down for 1 second.
Quiet, please.
Plenty of times you guys have came to a meeting and had misinformation, misleading information. You guys have sat up here and said people said that you didn't pay them. It never was one of our vendors. So I don't entertain the stuff that y'all come up here and just say just because you want to say it for the media, for the residents, and there's no truth to it, no facts to it. And again, if you guys want to have an adult conversation with me, you know my number, you know what I live, you know all of that, Belcher. You guys can call me, but you don't. Hold on, but you don't call. You guys want to come here and put on a show for what? We still live here no matter what's going on in our neighborhood. For instance, it's a couple things y'all took off the warrant list that y'all need to put back on the warrant list. Y'all talk about y'all want to help the residents. If you're going to help the residents, then help them. Why aren't y'all paying for concrete? So when they got a water main break, how do they pour concrete down? How do they fix it? Because they gotta call a company out. They gotta call a company out to fix it. But these are the problems that fall on my desk when y'all don't do what y'all supposed to do. And then the residents call me to fix it when y'all said no at a board meeting. Because at the end of the day, it still gotta get fixed. And that's what y'all failing to realize. No matter what they say up here, y'all gonna call me, the mayor. And you'll say, Mayor, I have a water main break. Can you fix it?
Now, I wanted to start with that one. And I think this was the other one. Let's see. So this is the infamous, we wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. So let's go there. And like I said, you guys make your own decision. I'm being clear. Make your own decision. See how these issues have aged as we go along. With this, I can't say new administration because it's the same administration, just everyone's got different placements, right? Let's go here. And thanks for being here, y'all. And like I said, put your open opinions in there. Now, it's three things you're going to hear, I think. You're going to hear how disgraceful it is for Andrew Holmes to be in a booklet. Andrew's not at this meeting. And then you're also going to hear about the addresses and how we are not in the business of real estate.
Dolton crowd pamphlet, and we got it the last meeting that came. This is nothing but an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It's campaign material, and it's full of lies. And then all the time while this was going on, the slap in the face that you would sit there and say, Lifetime Achievement Award to Andrew Holmes, and you knew what happened. This is a slap in the face. So the next time, whoever gives you the bright idea to put this stuff out.
So I'm asking y'all. Now, when you look in the background, look at how people are just kind of like, whatever. But this is for you, this is not Burgundy. This is the words that they're saying. It was just as much as a disgrace to put him on an ethics board. It was, right? So they put him on, wanted to see, this is me saying allegedly, right? So they put him on, we saw that for sure. But in my head, allegedly, they wanted to see what the public had to say. If they were going to let it go, if it was going to be nice and easy, and y'all didn't let it go. Y'all started to warm up and question and said, why would Andrew Holmes be on the ethics committee? Now we have to say that charges have not been brought forth for Andrew Holmes. I'm a double down. I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but I thought it was weird that he would be put on the ethics committee anyway. And it's a pending case, right? Civil case with the village of Dolton. So that would make us even more liable, right? So, and what happened in that week that he was, them 2 weeks? What happened in those 2 weeks that he was on the ethics committee? What was done? He was on the police board for 2 weeks, right? So that's a lot to think about. Like if you're on a side of it's a case and stuff like that. Andrew Holmes was on this committee for 2 weeks. Now all of a sudden he's gone. So that's just something that I would think, you know. All right, let's go to it.
I hope it came out your personal campaign fund, because this is nothing but campaign material. And I'm sure because it got township stuff in it, the township credit card paid for it.
On the agenda is a motion to approve the purchase of 5 residential properties, 1 commercial property from the Cook County Land Bank. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second,
Is there a motion and second? Any discussion?
yes.
Go ahead.
We wouldn't trust you to buy penny candy. If you think we about to let you buy properties,
I could care less. You pick your vote, choose what you want. This is, again.
the village of Dolton is not in the real estate business. We're not buying no properties.
Okay, then why y'all motion and second it then? Don't motion and second that.
We had a discussion because we want the people to know why we're not. Because you would get up here and lie and be like, they don't want to buy the properties and they don't want to spend no money. So we motion and second, like we can do in Robert's Rules Order, and discussion. The discussion is, we don't trust you to buy penny candy. And no, we're not buying no property because the village of Dolton is not in the business of property. Y'all done already stole about 60 houses. So ain't nobody gonna deal with you buying no property. So that's the end of my discussion.
I second that.
So in here, this is how. So Tiffany stole 60 houses. So what I would like to do is I would like to go. That's what it went real fast. They won't trust you to buy penny candy. You already stole like 60 houses. There we go. Okay. I don't know what happened. Like I said, I'm not in the back room. I don't know what happened, and we don't have any paperwork. Even today, I went to the Village of Dolton website just to get the agenda. If anyone comes across that May the 4th meeting, board meeting, can you send me, or May the 6th, send me the agenda? I want to see the addresses of those houses, because would any of, and in one commercial property, would any of them have anything to do with the presentations we just got? Just interested. Okay, and why were we trying to buy those, right? So it just, just listen to it. It's I'm with Gardis right here. There are 2 sides to this bad government that's going on. First and foremost, Tiffany should have brought the RFPs to the board. You're right. And if the trustees voted it down, that was on them. Absolutely right, Gardis. Secondly, the trustees are being petty in regards to spending money for the necessities. Yes, there needs to be a public works maintenance that has to be done. So the concrete is necessary. I would say that too. And we got some big potholes. And lastly, and this is on Tiffany and the board, no past budget. This is the root of the chaos. Yep. Yeah. And now, Chu said they did this since day 1 meeting. So this is just, we heard from the past. So we're not in the business of real estate. Now let's get to this news article. And I want to say, hey, the Pope's house is a big deal. But I also would like to know, what are we going to do about having the Pope house? What are we going to do about it? How much is the maintenance? This is questions that we need to ask. Let's go.
The Prevost family owned this home in Dolton for nearly 50 years, raising their family here, including their son, who would one day become the first American Pope. While it's up for auction, the village plans to step in to preserve its history.
It also brings just the recognition that great things do come out of Dolton.
What this brick South suburban house at 212 East 141st Place doesn't yet show are the humble beginnings of Chicago native Pope Leo XIV. But Dolton's attorney telling our I-team that the village now has plans to change that by working with the Chicago Archdiocese to turn the house into a historic site open to the public.
So that we keep it as it is and people can come and view it, because this really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Those efforts come as the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house is up for sale in a private auction. But in a letter sent to Paramount Realty, the company that owns this now sacred space, the village's attorney wrote that Dolton plans to either outright purchase the home or buy it by eminent domain.
We've tried to negotiate with the owner, wants too much money. So we will either negotiate with the auction house or we will take it through eminent domain.
If there's a government use for any property or location, then the government has the ability through the law of eminent domain to pay a fair market price.
Mayor Jason House says that's only an option if ongoing negotiations with the house's owner fall through. He also says current bidders should be aware their apparent purchase would only be temporary until the village inevitably takes over the property.
Most people.
Okay. Y'all, I need to know how you feel about this. This is okay. So, okay. We take this property and then this is the Pope's house. Big deal. I have two things. It's nothing in the inside that looks like where Pope Leo lived there. We heard that from the owner, just the walls. And I want to say that the owner did a beautiful job of renovating this house. It looks great, right? It looks great the inside. So everything, Pope Leo was there, what, in the 50s, 60s? Everything here is new. He went to Menards and got everything, right? How do you feel about this? Jason, our mayor, is saying that, hey, you know, they want too much money. Okay, negotiations are not going the way we want it to go. Okay, and if you do win the house, so if somebody do win the house for $1 million, we're going to take it anyway. So that would put us in a whole legal battle, right? And we heard from them earlier that to get this house is going to be a lengthy legal battle. I don't know how I feel about that because what is the Village of Dolton's plans to, we're going to buy this house, right? Put a sign on there. And what are we going to do? Like charge $10 for people to come look at it? Not charge, just have it. I'm confused. Miss Asia, I didn't want to say it, but isn't that what it's happening? It says I'm watching the bushes. But wait, they're just gonna bully the owner out their property and then say, and if you do win it, guess what? We're gonna take it anyway. I was like, whoa. I think it would be better, and I'm not in government and I'm not a lawyer, but just since we have been through this turmoil, to be a little gentler. This man bought this house. Nobody wanted that house. He bought it. He rehabbed it, put his blood, sweat, and tears in it. What did I hear? His wife was pregnant, and then they stayed there because he lived so far out. They stayed there until the house was finished, then put it up for sale. So this is a family with a newborn baby. Okay, here we go with the senior cake. Here we go. They got a newborn baby. And they're like, and now they have the stress that the house that they put, because even if he bought it for $66,000, how much money did he put into rehabbing the house? Paying taxes on the house. And then he wakes up one morning and he's like, oh my God, the Pope. Excuse me, I can't say the Pope and God. Like, that's blasphemy? Blasphemy, right? I don't know. But I'm not using the Lord name in vain, but he did wake up. I bet he was like, "Oh my God, honey, look, we got the house that Cardinal Prevost had, right? Who's now Pope Leo." And now they're walking into a nightmare. Hey, we're not giving you what you want for that house, which was probably the kids' college fund. Now they're just gonna. Okay, I'm just dropping the link just in case. They are literally saying, you know what? Even if you win it, we still gonna take it. Did I hear that wrong?
Would not want to purchase a place knowing that.
Now let's go back. because you know
there are
my
other
ears are old.
circumstances behind there.
We left a message for Paramount Realty for a comment, but have not heard back. This while the auction website remains up. The Prevost family owned this home in Dolton for nearly 50 years, raising their family here, including their son, who would one day become the first American pope. While it's up for auction, the village plans to step in to preserve its history.
It also brings just the recognition that great things do come out of Dolton.
What this brick South suburban house at 212 East 141st Place doesn't yet show are the humble beginnings of Chicago native Pope Leo XIV. But Dolton's attorney telling our I-team that the village now has plans to change that by working with the Chicago Archdiocese to turn the house into a historic site open to the public.
So that we keep it as it is and people can come and view it, because this really is a once in a lifetime experience.
Those efforts come as the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house is up for sale in a private auction. But in a letter sent to Paramount Realty, the company that owns this now sacred space, the village's attorney wrote that Dolton plans to either outright purchase the home or buy it by eminent domain.
We've tried to negotiate with the owner, wants too much money. So we will either negotiate with the auction house or we'll take it through eminent domain.
If there's a government use for any property or location, then the government has the ability through the law of eminent domain to pay a fair market price.
Mayor Jason House says that's only an option if ongoing negotiations with the house's owner fall through. He also says current bidders should be aware their apparent purchase would only be temporary until the village inevitably takes over the property.
Most people would not want to purchase a place knowing that there are other circumstances behind there.
We left a message for Paramount Realty for a comment.
Man, like that's deep, man. I cannot wait to see how this ends. And this is my question to the residents. So how do you want to go about this? If we don't have any money, Tiffany left us in shambles. Do we have $250,000 to purchase this home? Because that's the bottom line price that the owner wanted it for. I think he found a house. He built the house out. He put it online. Then this miracle happened that the Pope used to live in a house. This is my opinion. I think it's deserving. But would you guys want to pay $250,000 for the Pope home? And the taxes and everything else is so high. How do you feel about that? And secondly, how did the Pope feel? Like, I know he's not watching nothing like this, but how does the Pope feel to know that the government is really going to take this house if they don't get the price they want? And I want to go to Gardis price. Gardis, what Gardis has to say, because this is something that's interesting, because this is where the rubber meets the road, I guess you would say. That if everyone's Christian, if this is, everybody's so, we love God, the Pope is here, yeah, you're gonna get out this house. Is that fair? Or is it, no, Dolton deserves this house? What do y'all think? This is now don't forget, we got Riley Rogers back on the zoning board, who, if you see all those old videos that Choose Compassion used to put up, and Conscious puts up, and Della Cremdella used to break down, it was always an argument over all these houses and commercial buildings being bought and this and that. So now we have the Pope house. And I want to bring this up. Garden says, Berg, I don't know if you remember, but I do. And I definitely remember this. We covered this. Mayor Shaw tried to take ownership of Piscateers Lake. They were planning on taking it through eminent domain and failed. So that is a possibility, you guys. That is for sure a possibility, that we will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to take the Pope's home and still fail. Are y'all ready for that? That's something to think about. We still may not get it. Wyoming says, if someone is willing to pay $500,000 for the house, then what is considered fair market value? Yeah, I hope to get like maybe a real estate expert. We got That's the thing about Dolton. We got too many people into buying homes. All of them were buying these homes in Dolton. They're all in the business of real estate. So it wasn't just Tiffany. It wasn't just Tiffany. It wasn't just what's his name? Keith Freeman. Everyone has a real estate background. You know what I mean? But my question and my purpose for this video was what do we think is fair? Is this business savvy? What would in Dolton, Illinois, what would the Pope's home, what kind of revenue would that bring Dolton? You know? I'm just asking. It's sort of like when I went to the Pullman Museum, the Pullman Porters Museum. When you go there, it's beautiful, but everything is absolutely free unless you're buying like keychains or coffee cups. Everything is absolutely free. What do you think this house in Dolton? We don't have a Catholic school anymore. We don't have Catholic church anymore. And that brings me on to this brother church around the corner. Could that St. Mary's that's owned by a gentleman, could they plan to take that as well? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. What do you think? And has anyone talked to the Gardis, you're still here. Has anyone talked? I know they mentioned the Archdiocese of Chicago, but has anyone got paperwork from them here in Dolton to say that yes, they will put on to buy the home? I don't even think the Archdiocese, have they made a statement yet? Yeah, he was looking for 200,000, I think he was. That it's just crazy. Yeah, Cynthia, with the Archdiocese, I was just asking more money for the lawyers. Yeah, this is very much interesting. Do we need this house? Now, I have a question that everybody's gonna get pissed off about. I'm ready for it to go viral in Dolton politics, right? Lord forbid Pope Francis would have passed a week earlier. That was his name, right? Pope Francis. And what is it called? I was watching that movie the other day. It starts with a C. But the Cardinals would have chose Pope Leo one Monday before. And Tiffany would have tried to buy this house. Y'all let me know what would have happened. Just what would have happened if she would have said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and buy she suggests, because they would have never let her buy it. But she would suggest purchasing Pope Leo home. What would have happened? They would have said the conclave. Thank you. If the conclave would have chose Pope Leo a week earlier, this is some luck. But not just for Dolton, it was some luck for the owner too. And is it right for us just to snatch it? Isn't that what I might have it wrong, and it's no Pope Leo and Harvey, but isn't that what they're kind of complaining about Chris Clark doing over there, taking homes for eminent domain? I'm just asking. And that's why it's important to ask these questions and to go down the history of what was said. We just were told that we're in a bad way. People haven't gotten paid yet. Now, if someone wants to donate the house, maybe the Archdiocese, like I don't know. But I couldn't imagine being this couple and so happy I got the house, and now the village. When I got this house, it was dilapidated, no love, nothing in it, and I put my blood, sweat, and tears in it. And they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you that 66,000 back or whatever we think is fair. Fair market value here in Dolton. Let's see, what would that be? Is that like when you look up a house and it's it says the fair market value in Dolton is the price a willing buyer would pay a willing seller for a property under current market conditions, with both parties knowledgeable and acting in their own best interest. It's the price you'd expect to see on the open market. Okay. And it says some of the recent sales in Dolton are anything from 23,000 to 212,000. So it depends on the house. In different neighborhoods have varying values. Now, if you guys didn't know, over there, you're in between two railroad tracks. The trains are going all day. Beautiful brick homes, though. But the whole block used to be a shopping mall across the street in Riverdale. And that block is totally boarded up. Totally boarded up. It's some abandoned homes on the block. So, you know, it's just something. It's just something to see. Okay, let's see what they were saying over here on Fox.
Is calling it a piece of papal history, but prospective buyers be warned. The village of Dolton has announced it wants Pope Leo XIV's childhood home.
And they plan to use eminent domain to buy it. Casey Cronus is live with the latest. Casey.
That's right. The homeowner and any potential buyers may have little control over what happens next. Under the law, the village has first dibs and the right to purchase the property at fair market value, even if someone else is willing to pay more. Life before the Vatican for the world's first American pope began right here in Dolton,
which is kind of cool.
The exact address, 212 East 141st Place.
We will do what the Archdiocese thinks is best to preserve the home.
Now Dolton police squads are regularly stationed outside Pope Leo XIV's boyhood home, following an influx of visitors that neighbors like Donna Sanye Davis, who lives next door, have seen since Robert Francis Prevost was elected pontiff.
From France, from Italy, you know, people are coming and praying, you know, touching the house to be healed. I saw a young lady do that.
The current owner bought and remodeled the brick house before realizing the significance it would soon carry.
It was on the market for $199,000, and then Pope Leo was made pope, and he took it off the market.
Village attorney Bert Odelson says over the last several days, the house made its way onto Paramount Realty USA's auction site. Bids will be accepted starting June 18th, but a letter Odelson just sent could stall the sale before it ever hits the auction block.
So that everybody, not just in Dolton or the south suburbs, but worldwide, can come to his home.
While will be accepted starting June 18th, but a letter Odelson just sent could stall the sale before.
Oh, you know what? I don't have my glasses on. Hold on.
It ever hits the auction.
Let's see if we can read it. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. Hold on. I say, dear Mr. Hughes, please be advised that my firm represents the village of Dolton as their village attorneys. I understand that your firm is in the process of, quote, auctioning the sale of the property, over there in Dolton. The village of Dolton intends to purchase the home either through direct purchase or through eminent domain process. The process is authorized by Illinois law. And sorry, it's so fuzzy. I'm trying to see. Let's get closer.
Block.
Let me see. Anybody else see that? Anybody got some good glasses on? Okay. The village intends to work with the Chicago Archdiocese. Okay, they intend to work with the Chicago Archdiocese and other agencies to allow the house to be viewed by the public. It's being viewed by the public now. But I guess if somebody moved in there, they wouldn't like it. I would be happy to discuss this situation with appropriate representation. Okay, from your company. Okay. That has to be scary. And that just went out yesterday, May 20th. So this letter goes out yesterday. And then the news article drops yesterday. Dang. Whoa. He lived in Homewood too. In Homewood, they have the address is public. He lived on Birch Street in Homewood, and that's where he grew up. I guess Dolton is more important because he was born there. That's what they were saying. But he lived in Homewood, Illinois too. He lived there from 1994 and 2000 and 2008, and it's been rumors that he had a South Holland address too. But Dolton, whoa, this is interesting. And yes, I agree.
Block.
So that everybody, not just in Dolton or the south suburbs, but worldwide, can come to his home.
While exact plans are in the early stages, the village.
I'm just looking at over Bert's Odelson's shoulder. Is that a
Or the south suburb.
St. Mary's College in Notre Dame and an Irish flag? Can I assume that Bert possibly is Catholic? I'm just asking, or went to a Catholic schools? That's interesting. I never would have thought until now. I'm seeing all of this in the background. You know what I mean? This is very interesting. So I wonder if Bert has Catholic faith, because what do you guys think? Is Notre Dame a Catholic? Let me see. Is it in St. Joseph County? Yeah. Inspired by its Catholic character. Yes. Wow. I wonder, because this would be this is just, yeah, I agree. Choose. Oh, sorry, y'all, my phone just going off. It's time for me to get on out of here. Hey, Scott. I'm just noticing the St. Mary stuff behind him and stuff. That's interesting. Okay. And we've covered Bert before, never noticed that. So this is very interesting.
But worldwide can come to his home.
While exact plans are in the early stages, the village is working with the Chicago Archdiocese to turn the home into a historic site, a welcome vision for some residents.
It fit right with me because I am a person who loves God and spend a lot of time in prayer. Public use is definitely necessary.
We are still waiting on a statement from the realtor and the homeowner.
Yeah, and see, this is how the news gets so tricky, because when they're like, we're waiting on a statement, they just got the letter today. If they got it. Okay, let me bring up Choose. Hey, Choose. Good morning.
Terry, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay.
You're okay. Oh, yeah. This is a lot. I like the move or be moved. I like what the news guy said. Move or be moved. This is a lot to take in. My question is, what is the village plan? So they're saying they're going to have the house for people to come look at it, like we're doing currently now.
Yeah, that's gonna wear off, and then what? Because I mean, it's popular now, just like everything else is. It's part of pop culture, even though it's the Pope. That it's gonna wear off. People are not gonna be crowding the home. If they're even crowding the home right now, I know it was a lot of activity. The first week, I don't know how it is. I haven't been back, so I can't speak on what it's looking like right now. But I just think the the novelty is going to wear off and people are going to move on to the next thing. And then what are you going to do with that house?
Yeah, because um I think about all the other historical places, not just the Pope's home, that are just wound down, beat down, windows broke through, and it's getting no care. Now, I will say, poor Jason just took leadership a couple of days ago, but he was on the Chamber of Commerce. He also was our financial lead, and he's been the longest standing trustee that we've had. So he's been around. So now that we're here right now, I think I'm thinking of the more human side, and I don't feel like this should be a business thing. Um, this family will be able to profit off the home that they were trying to profit off of anyway, and we're just going to take it from them and anybody else that tries. So if someone gave $600,000 or $1 million for this home, we're going to still take it.
Look, not a good look, Jason.
This is a great question, Choose. Public use and funds for a religious site? No conflict of interest to see here. That didn't even cross my mind. You are so right, Scott. Like, no problem here. Wow. Yeah, we're so our taxpayer, would that be our taxpayer dollars going to buy the Pope home? And I know that we announced that we were going to put a sign up for Pope Leo, and that was voted on, but they did not say anything about the purchase, which I guess came a day after the board meeting that they decided to purchase it.
Yeah, I remember saying yesterday briefly, I'm like, I thought church and state were separate, especially in something like this. And I put my comment in. I mean, I don't think my comment reflected Scott's question up there. Would Tiffany be scrutinized if she tried to do the same thing? I put a bunch of angry cursing faces, but the podium would be there and people would be yelling at her. It would be a whole long podium of the 5 people yelling at her, talking about, and you want to buy the Pope's home? You ain't even Catholic. That's what.
They'll be like, if Tiffany wanted to buy the home, Scott said, would Tiffany be scrutinized if she tried to do the same thing? Yeah, they'll be on there. How is the devil gonna buy the Pope? It'll be all kind of things. It's interesting.
Keep it cute. It would be terrible if Tiffany had tried to, you know, purchase it. It would be we're broke, we're broke, we're broke. So I don't think this is right at all.
Well, on top of that, that's why I thought the history was important. We're not in the business of real estate, right? We're still financially, we have nothing. We're broke. What amount of the budget, and that's how you know that the board is in control, because Tiffany would not be able to buy it, just like Jason would not be able to buy it if the board said no.
So what if the board says yes? Then we're just going to buy it. And it's just, he just took office. And you are so nice for saying poor Jason. Poor Jason, nothing over here. This is my words. Berg says poor Jason. She has a little more compassion than I have today, because this is about the residents, and everything that I've heard since he's taken office, I have not heard not one thing about how you're gonna help fix anything that's existing for the actual people that live there. So for me, that's the slap in the face.
I think that everybody wants something new and shiny. Just like the presentation of, let's not forget, it was a few months ago when Mayor Pro Temp took over. We're supposed to be building something on 142nd that would have almost reached the tip to where Mr. Larry Place was. But we were supposed to be building some kind of bio energy, something, whatever. And we had a presentation about that. And now we have a presentation about a new complex or something.
Mm-hmm.
Went from
Well,
truck parking to I have to find this. Hold on. This one just, it blew my mind. We went from truck parking to and I
oh,
noticed. Oh, go ahead.
those plans that y'all got 5 miles. You know, this is what I gotta keep. I have to keep referencing the 5 mile radius. All that, what I saw on that's supposed to go in that one spot by where Mr. Larry's stuff go boom boom.
Well, this place is across on another area, but I thought it was interesting that they put this up on the website because this reminds me, we got the palm trees. Let me bring this up.
Palm trees in Dalton. Palm trees in Dalton. Mm.
We got, well, the palm trees line the other trees, but yeah, we got palm trees. We have an in-ground pool. And I guess the street, I don't know if you guys can see this. I guess the street up there is supposed to be Sibley. I don't know. But we got, and the questions were, and he said we're going to get one parking space per unit. One parking space per unit. But did anyone notice, okay, it's an apartment building, but did they tell y'all with those little, what are these little buildings, choose? These little, like the little square huts.
I'm wondering if those are little houses, or are those supposed to be little townhouses or something like that? I don't know. Are they the houses that are already there? Are y'all finna tear everything down?
No,
I'm
it's just
looking
empty. It's empty to a certain point, but it's a
looking at these fountains and wondering about the water bill. You said something about a pool. Still thinking about the water bill. I don't know. I don't know how people could have sat there that quiet. Just all this water. But I'm sorry. I get distracted by all the water. You were saying, what are those little buildings? I think they might be little houses. I don't know.
because I thought they were going to be little storage units or little garages, but I really didn't look into everything. But
Oh, could
it
be.
would, he went from saying that the place went from a truck parking yard, which is just, we get the land, we get the gravel, maybe we put a Burger King on there or a pancake, how truck parking, pancake place, and call it a day. But now it went to this this, how long will this take? Did they get a class 8 to do this? It's so many things. It's
Why didn't we know that? why
yeah. Well, at first, we didn't know that. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
2022? Where that man been? Where they been hiding him? Because he should have been presenting this when it was Tiffany, so everybody could have said no.
This is interesting. And he went from, I just find it real interesting. We went from truck parking to this area. And once we got to it, it was so fun. It wasn't funny, but I think I was in shock because it was public comment when he got up there. And Sherry went up there to tell us about the robberies that was happening in Dolton. And Andrew confirmed that there were robberies happening in Dolton. But I think the most we heard was it was a gray car and it went from 2 people to 4 people. Did they ever put up let me look on the website, did they ever put anything up now? And then it went from this to a now when you look over to the right up there in the top right corner, that's the street that Kamal and Tiffany was getting evicted from. And across the street over there is Riverdale. If you look at what he's saying this place is, you have the Little Calumet River, but you also have a big yard, BNSF, I think it still is. So their current classification is M1. So change the zoning of 14700 Harbor Street and contiguous parcels from their current classification M1 to a mixed use plan development, and inclusion of positive statement of support for the project and willingness to help facilitate any state or federal funding. So mixed use would be multi-rental housing, retail, self-storage. So maybe that's what it is. For sale townhomes and condos.
Uh-huh.
Allow
Yeah. Mm.
more real estate, right? More real estate. Allow for the safe and affordable masonry or other available safe construction. Increase height allowance up to 5 stories because it's not enough space. So they got to build up, much like St. Patrick's. You got to build up. Waive the requirement of 1 parking space per union, given proximity to train station to 1 space per 5 units. I don't know why they keep saying this is a train station.
Mm-mm.
I don't see anybody getting off on that train.
You nobody getting off on that. Not one person getting off on that train.
Riverdale has a train station. Harvey has a train station. Dolton, the railroad tracks just go through our town.
That's what I'm about to say. It's just railroad tracks there, unless I missed something. Because, I could have missed some going up. But I think, this is where, in all honesty and seriousness, when we have this mixed use authorization where it says, it's going to be multifamily rental housing, for sale townhomes and condominiums. Dolton has always been prime land. Prime, I don't want to use the word real estate. It's just been the land that everyone has wanted. And I would be cautious of all of this because who's going to be it? I hear affordability, but I also see condominiums. How many people in Dolton right now can afford to purchase a condominium or a townhouse? I think if more people could have been able to afford houses, there wouldn't be so many empty ones. So I would be looking into the future, like what what does this mean 10, 20 years into the future? Does that mean that the Black people are not going to be able to afford to live in Dalton? Is this where we're headed? And then not only do they have their lake back, but all their little condominiums and very tall houses. It's something to really think about as residents. What is this doing? Who can afford this? If people were able to just up and buy houses or up and move, whichever, if they had an opportunity, I think they would have done that. So I
you
would just
preaching to the
question,
choir.
what is this really about, knowing that that beyond anything else, the land that you all are, whether you're renting or you bought a home, that's prime land right there, minutes away from everybody. It used to be an all white city. Be careful of who you're listening to. Look beyond Jason House. Look beyond Tiffany Henyard. Look beyond and see what's really going on. That's all. I'm sorry. I wanted to get serious because I'm very upset, but you got to bring it back to what's best for the residents. That we Dalton is something that to be proud of. It really should be, I should say. So sorry about that soapbox.
No, you're absolutely right, because I want to bring up it was a project on 154th and Greenwood, and it goes to the viaduct, and it was supposed to go beyond, and they were supposed to build like I think it was 50 to 100 homes, and it's right across the street from Rutgers Park that used to be our Triangle Park. But they are, and it's the Ruckus Park is real cute. I like how colorful it is. But these are townhomes. You can't park nowhere. You can't park anywhere when you go there. You're parked. You only have one parking space, and they stopped building them. It's like they started building them real fast, and then they just stopped. And that's why you see like this odd amount of townhomes on Greenwood that just stopped right before the viaduct because it wasn't enough space. And I don't know whatever happened to that project, but it just stopped.
Thank you for clearing that up for me because I know, yeah, when I came in April, I saw like townhomes. It was kind of weird. So thank you for because I was wondering about that. And yeah, I can speak for, like places that have townhomes and you have your own parking, whatever. It should be able to accommodate, with a garage and all that. I didn't see all of that there when I was there, but it's like you have to think of other stuff. So if you're going to allow one parking space per person, where's the lot? For example, where I live, we have very strict rules. There is no city parking between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., for example. So, and if you are a person that rents, I believe they have like one space or something like that. And you have to go park your car. Like, it's not far, it's about a 5-minute walk from anywhere around here, but there's space to go park your car in a parking garage. So I didn't see like parking garage. This is too big of a thing for Dolton to take on right now when you have residents already there that already need things. You have houses that are already there that already need to be rehabbed and built up. That's been the whole fight since I can remember 2012, 2013. It's been a fight and houses are still being abandoned. So why are we trying to build new glitzy and not build up our what's existing? And yes, I'm going to say our because I know somebody said something in the comment section. So I just want to make that, really clear real quick. I'm always going to say our because that's my roots. That's my hometown. That's my family. And whether my family wasn't, even if my whole family had moved out, I would still say our because that's my hometown. So that being said, build up the people, the residents, the houses, the community that's there before you start trying to build new stuff. Y'all got St. Patrick's already. Work on what y'all look out for the residents. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to play a little bit more of, and you're absolutely right. Work with the residents. Let's play this part, and you're gonna hear. Did this gentleman interrupt the presentation, or did he come afterwards? Did he have a question? But I want to go to what Tracy was saying as well.
At least one parking space per unit if there's housing, even though it's close to the train station. I know in my neighborhood, some houses have 3-4 vehicles.
Thank you.
Yeah, this will be the final question.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Minister Tommy Davis with TDR Construction Company and Builders Alliance. My group is the group that broke ground on UIC. We also had a hand in building Wind Creek Casino and Obama Library. I'm bringing my group to Dolton to give support. My mother had a business here for many years, and Mayor House is a wonderful mayor. Friends like Stan and Mr. Andrew Holmes. So we're here to support. We have I have people with deep pockets that will help Dolton. So anything that I can do.
He wasn't scared to bring up Andrew, was he? Okay.
Or deep pockets.
Or deep pockets. So we better see a RFP, right? Just, and I know everybody. Now I know right now, y'all ever saw I don't know Inside Out cartoon.
Oh yeah.
They right now in there listening. Oh, here go Burgundy. Let's make sure we try to say something about her again today because she talking too much.
Girl, they don't even. That's the problem. I believe that is the problem with a lot of our adults. I believe they haven't watched Inside Out.
They need to watch Inside Out. Is
People,
great.
please watch Inside Out. And I'm ready for it. I've been saying I was going to watch Inside Out 2, and I haven't gotten to it yet because that's where the anxiety kicks in. So, yeah, the anxiety and all, the good stuff that we've kind of been seeing at the board meetings that, but yeah, there she go. There go my girl right there.
Yeah. Joy.
Joy.
Yeah. And that's what happened every time. If I say something that could, I only have 20 people watching, you guys, and it's his story. Y'all follow along and watch what happens every day. It'll just be something made out of the blue. I'll say, hey, did y'all hear this man say I have friends with deep pockets? Who says that at a government board meeting? And I have friends, and I brought my people here to Dolton. Okay,
Nobody.
so remember RFP, and then let's see what Jason says, and everybody just chuckles. But remember, we got the criminal Tiffany over there. If she would have said, "Oh, I got some people with deep pockets," they would have been like, "Oh no, no, you're going to jail." But you have to listen to what's happening. And it's just how things have changed. As long as one person's out the room, but it seems like it's the same thing to me. But let's listen.
And I also went for you.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Jason also said this will be our final question. Our final comment. So why was that? What if somebody else had a comment? Why was that the final one? But anyway,
it's public comment, right? Okay, so let's go.
Okay. And
so I have people with deep pockets that will help Dolton. So anything that I can do, I'm here to help.
Okay. And you said deep pockets, so please see me after this meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to say thank you. I believe they're asking for just, I guess maybe a consensus approval from the board.
That's the one with deep pockets.
No, I think that's one of the people helping with the video. Because let me tell you, the video, y'all should be like, okay, this is how the video started. Watch this. Everything they said was on the hot mic, basically. Let's see.
Tammy is somewhere.
Hey, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Real good. How are you?
Their mic should be off when they sitting down.
Good.
Oh my God, I got my thing.
No, wait till Tammy coming here. We fell out. This your sound person, y'all. This your sound. That's not me doing that. This you probably think it's Berg. This is the sound people.
Oh, start with them, drop down. Start that way.
Now, I'll let y'all listen to what. Can you hear what Kiana and Tammy talking about? I mean, Kiana and the trustee. I mean, the clerk.
They ain't talking about minutes.
We gonna come to Tammy like I've been to the hospital. You can hear everything.
Hey,
Do you hear Andrew Is that Andrew saying, "Hey, trustee, I like"? Who he saying? I like the green.
You pulled right a bit. I didn't even. I said, I ain't gonna go in there. I ain't gonna put no spot. Ooh, well, I showed it took it.
What spot did he take? Watch Tammy.
You try and go home and get some rest.
I couldn't even go. I went straight from there to the hospital. Just leaving the hospital. Damn. Yeah. She's in there trying to fuss. Giving them a hard time.
Y'all, I'm talking over this for a reason because I know it's gonna be clipped out later. But if you have time, you can hear everything. And I'm like, who is the sound person? Who is Tracy is hilarious. Tracy said no. She's like, no worries. She won't be posting any minutes. Now, when you go to the Munster board meeting, and me and Carl Wilson went, when you go there, they have a testing, like a mic check. You ever saw that, Choose? When they're like, hey, mic check, everything's off. They're checking the computers. They're checking everything. And then as the people are coming in the room, if you're going to live stream.
Places, school boards that stream on YouTube, all kinds of places. They check the mic first, it's off. And yeah, I've watched in person many times.
That was just so weird to me. Like, we had like 20 minutes of them just kicking it. He like, did you go home? Now I want to know, was y'all out? Was y'all out at the club last night? What happened? He was like, did you go home? And we're praying for whatever was happening in the hospital, Tammy. I know it wasn't for us to know, but hey, we know now. So whatever's going on in the hospital, we praying for you. But this right here, he's like, he like, so did you go straight home and get some rest? She's like, no, I had to do. I'm yelling at my screen like, turn the mics off. Why? Golly.
That's
all
what
right. But friends, go ahead. I'm sorry, it was a lag.
Get an ordinance.
Yeah. So DMG said, friends like Andrew Holmes. Was the man ever cleared of the sexual assault charges? Yeah, Las Vegas dropped the charges. They dropped the charges. So that's it. This is so interesting. Friends like Andrew Holmes, he stood up there. He's like, look, I got deep pockets. Okay, got friends like deep pockets. So y'all, it's just about listening and paying attention. That doesn't mean anything has to be nefarious or anything like that, but listening and paying attention to what was said, and you trusted this situation to now where we are. So you definitely have to pay attention. Like they say on Sister Act 2, right? If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree.
And hold everybody accountable. Like if you have a question, I understand the fear. And that was a fear that's taught. If you say something, you're attacked. You know what I mean? And you guys know that. You just saying something plain like, hey, you know what? Well, is this young man, even though he said, I brought my company here to Dolton. Okay, cool. So to do this in coordination with this, are we going to get to see the RFP bids? Simple question.
Well, exactly. And I agree with everything since, just with everything moving forward. Do not get caught up in what people are telling you. If you have a feeling that just an inkling of something, it doesn't mean that it can be an inkling that something is wrong. It can be an inkling that, wait, I don't understand what this means or what you said. Don't be afraid to do that. The fear and keeping us silent. And when I say us, I'm talking about in any situation. I'm talking about everybody, including myself. There are certain situations where, the fear will keep us silent. And it can be something that's just as simple as just being confused. Think about little children who don't want to raise their hand when they don't understand. Just It's as simple as that. Just say something. Say something. Ask questions. Make sure that it's for your good, and always remember that whatever's going on up there, you all as residents, you pay them. That's all I got.
And you're absolutely right. Like, you have to remember that, and don't be scared, because you'll look back 4 years from now, and then you'll be like, I wish I would have asked this question. Just like a lot of us who, 4 years from now, you're asking that now. If you were someone that was like, man, okay, this happened with Tiffany. I have to correct something. Thank you, Wyoming. Las Vegas never dropped the charges because it wasn't any charges. I'm sorry. It was an investigation. So it was, see, and that's the wordplay, right? Because now I'm saying charges.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm saying charges, and he was never charged, but they dropped the investigation. Okay.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and they will, they will say, he was never charged. But it's still, it's the outrage that I would just say Keanu Belcher had. So, you don't get to, okay, now I'm okay. And if you are, as a representative of the public, you should be saying why. You should be more upfront. They don't get to bully you all. And so I thought of one last thing. The name calling, everybody did a lot of that with Tiffany. And I really just want to point out that when we start name calling, we shut off our critical thinking. So I'm encouraging people, whether they're whoever they don't even, don't call Jason names, don't call people names. Can we just listen? Because that literally does shut off like your critical thinking skills.
Oh
So
yeah.
pay attention, because it's about the residents. You all are their bosses. Period.
And I want to say something else about that. As you're absolutely right. Pay attention to who gets, like, during this whole thing, who they attack. If you're speaking on behalf of myself, small channel, nobody's watching, 16 people watching, right? If they feel that this could affect one person's mind, they're going to attack that channel.
Exactly.
If one person can think for themselves and say, now, wait a minute, now, y'all did say we was dead broke. We didn't have money for payroll. Employees weren't getting insurance. How we going to buy Pope Leo house? We can't afford it.
Exactly.
Or can we? Or was the bag not empty?
Questions. Good questions. Very
Mhm.
good questions. Very good questions that need to be asked and addressed.
Asked and addressed. And who are those people they talking about going around robbing people? I got to play that part, because I'm like, okay, that was vague.
Yeah.
Do we have any more information? I don't want to just be suspecting every gray car going down the street.
That's true.
I don't want to, it's our young black men get enough slack over here in the area. Don't want to put it on them.
Yeah,
So
gotta make sure. Gotta make sure.
we have to be clear. So let me just play this. And you know what, guys? I'll make a clip, because I don't think people will probably hear it if I play in this long video, but I'll make a clip just for like the neighborhood, because I thought we had a neighborhood watch anyway. So
Right. That's a good idea.
yeah. But thanks for joining, Choose. Thank you so much.
Thank you, as always. I love everybody, and until next time, sending everybody love and light.
Bye. Have a great day. We love you. So that was great. That doesn't mean people are right or wrong. What you're listening to is my opinions on my channel and what I have to say. This is something. Can we afford Pope Leo's house? Is it fair if we take it from the people? What will we do with Pope Leo's house? And if the archdiocese is going to help, what are they trying to help with? Because that's very vague. They're going to help. Are they just going to say, yeah, we got proof he lived here? Are they going to give any money? What are we planning for the archdiocese to do? Andrew forgot to give the number for the jobs program, but he told everyone to look out for a gray car. Isn't that something? Also says it takes a 1 mile to reach the train station. Yeah, it does. It's not a train station there. It's a depot. All right, you guys, make sure you take care of yourself and each other and be kind to one another. That's our motto. And you guys, I'll be back later with my TLC review. Bye.
Commentary Blue Commentary Burgundy Commentary Comment Blue Commentary Comment Burgundy Blue Commentary Blue Commentary